back. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week of November the 8th to November 14th. Okay, so let's jump in here and see what messages we have and what major themes will come up here for Scorpio as they go through their week. Happy birthday, Scorpio. The sun is still in Scorpio until November 22nd. Security, enlightenment, and purification. Very interesting. Okay, Virgo. Let's have a look at your cards here. Scorpio. Purification. Now this card always reminds me of the Sun card in tarot, which is a very prosperous, sort of sustainable energy that involves you starting over, purifying, right? I feel like Scorpio, you are the sign that brings in sudden change. And I feel like you're going through a period right now where you're readying yourself for a new chapter. And that new chapter will provide a lot of enlightenment about your security. I think that new chapter, that beautiful, sustainable, bright, purifying card energies will be here present in creating enlightenment for your what is your security? What part of you burns the brightest? I feel like when I look at this card, I always think that your security lies in your passion. Your security lies in whatever it is that lights you up. And I feel like you're going to get some insight into that this week. And this enlightenment card always makes me think of sort of our divine connection and sort of realizing that it's not all about paying the bills and paying the mortgage, you know, that there is a more profound purpose for our presence here, and our connection to this earth is far more profound than just where we say, you know, our residence is, right? So it's very interesting energy to sit in here for you, Scorpio. Now let's add the tarot cards to the story here to see if we can get some more information for Scorpio as they move through their week, purifying and receiving enlightenment through their divine connection about, in particular, security. And where does their security lie? Okay, so Scorpio, let's get started here for you. We'll lay out all the cards and see what we've got. Okay. Closing out a cycle is on your mind. You're ready. You're ready to end something and begin something. We've got the Empress on the bottom of the deck. So some of you may be working very much, a lot of focus on creating something. Some of you may be creating something from your intuition or something from an emotional presence, or some of you may be creating. This card always reminds me of motherhood. So whenever I see the Empress, I can't help but think someone out there's having a baby. That might resonate for some of you. Now that is the theme here. That's not part of the main reading, but the bottom of the deck card always says to me that it's sort of the overarching energy of the reading is this energy, this creative energy that I feel, yeah, like as I was saying, that your security lies in whatever it is that lights you up. And so maybe you're a creator, you're an artist, maybe you're a mother. You're creating something here, Scorpio, and it's purifying you. It's preparing you for the next chapter, the next cycle of your life. Now, I feel like the only obstacle you have to emotional contentment right now is that you're overthinking things. You're overthinking things. You're fearing the outcome of the closing of this chapter. Perhaps you are fearing the outcome of change. You're fearing the outcome of, and maybe that's why the enlightenment card is here, is because you will soon be enlightened. So maybe some of that fear will dissipate. Right now, maybe you don't have all the answers. So you're a little bit in the fear mode here, where you're fearing outcomes, fearing consequences, feeling unable or paralyzed to choose, right? You're feeling some barriers around choice, mental choice. So you have some mental conflict about a choice that must be made, and it's really impacting how you feel. Right? Your emotional contentment is challenged because of this overthinking sort of fear mindset that you have. Maybe you're anticipating the worst outcome possible here. The Eight of Swords isn't far from the Nine of Swords, where we start to really imagine, and maybe by accident you start to manifest your worst nightmares. So really watching the mental space right now is going to be helpful for you, Scorpio. Really watching the airspace here, okay? Really taking care of how you're thinking. What's the inner dialogue? I mean, I can see here that the inner dialogue is one of evaluation. You're waiting for the outcome of a situation. You're anticipating an outcome. You're sitting and waiting for the final verdict on something because you're about to close out a chapter. And I feel that with the purification card. I feel like you're going to begin something. So to begin something, you might be ending something. And I feel like there is an end here coming, and you're waiting on the karmic outcome to see, what will I reap? You reap what you sow. So what did you sow? What will you receive? This is all about the sort of the end of the sentence. I always think of it as the end of the sentence. You start a sentence, and then let's see how it ends. You start a journey. Let's see how you did, right? Let's see how you did. And, it's interesting because observing without evaluation is sort of the highest level of enlightenment that we can achieve, right? Is when we observe and we don't evaluate, we just observe. And I feel like maybe that's something you need to consider, is that it's important to just have a look, but to not evaluate, right? To not say good or bad, to not say that was a win, that was a loss, but to just sort of think about it as a whole picture and take it all in at once. Do you know what I mean? Without evaluating yourself, without sort of but maybe by making corrections to the next chapter. So you might say, well, I'd like to see what will happen if I do this instead of this in the next chapter. If I approach things with a different mindset, for example, if I release fear of outcomes, how will that change the next chapter? You know what I mean? And it's not so much that you're judging yourself for fearing the outcomes. You're just curious, right? It moves from observation with evaluation to observation with curiosity, just curious, not judging, just curious. And I feel like that will serve you more, because I feel like the outer part of you is struggling to see which of these choices is an illusion and which is true. And in the Seven of Cups, to me, I always think they're all illusions in the Seven of Cups. These are all distractors, because none of these cups serve you anymore. I feel once you move past the Five of Cups, you're moving into a time where you're going to start over again. So none of the cups that appear here have anything to do with your future. These are all distractions from your past. And I feel like there's a part of you that's analyzing the past. When I see the Judgment very close to the Seven of Cups here, I feel like you're analyzing your past, and you might be making some judgments, And as I was talking, I didn't notice, but you did get the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is your inner dialogue right now, where you're trying to accept a truth before you move forward, but it's very emotional. And again, where's your focus? Your focus is here on the cups that have spilled, rather than the cups that are empty and ready to move, right? Ready to start over. And so, and the card in between the 5 and the 7 is the 6, of course. And the 6 of Cups is a time where you may have rose-colored glasses on about the past. You're looking with nostalgia. You're feeling reminiscing, like you're reminiscing about the past, but in a way that maybe you're not looking at it completely as it was. It's an emotional view of the past. And here you must accept it before moving forward. You must accept the shifts that have happened before you can move forward. And speaking of moving forward, there's the Chariot, but it's in reverse, I think, because you haven't finished this exercise, right? You're working on purification right now, and this Chariot is in reverse, because it's like once you finish the purification process and you receive this sort of enlightened view, you can start to move towards your security. And I feel like you will do that. And I feel like you will receive that illumination through enlightenment, and it will show you where your security lies. It will show you that. And, the nighttime sky in both of these cards looks very familiar to me. So do all the colors, right? And so I feel like these two are very related, that as you become more enlightened, into the truth about whatever this emotional situation is that you're sort of like fearing the outcome of. Or is there something that got left undone, Scorpio? Are you concerned about something that hasn't reached its conclusion yet, and you're wondering how is it going to conclude? I ask that because the thing driving your reading is actually the Six of Pentacles, which is a time where there is balance finally. You're feeling balance in your life, this security, but are you giving and receiving? Or are you afraid to give? Are you afraid to give? Or are you being selective? Sometimes when I look at the Six of Pentacles, I notice that this individual is holding one coin, but there's two hands here. So who's he going to give to? Right? Who's he giving to? There's only one coin in his hands, and he's holding the scales of justice here to try to balance the situation, to be in balance, but he's only giving up one coin. So who's it going to go to? There's two different hands here. And so I feel like that's what you're doing right now, is that the thing driving your reading is that you're trying to achieve sort of an idea around giving and receiving and balance, and how to be secure but generous at the same time, how to be maintaining your inner peace, but also to be expanding outwardly and connecting with others. And I think the thing that's top of mind for you is the idea of divine timing and being sort of ready, but sacrifice, right? Sacrifice is here as well, in the idea that, are you sacrificing or are you giving of free will? And I feel like there's a difference. There's a big difference when we sacrifice because we feel obligated versus when we give freely because we're giving freely. We're not giving calculatedly, like we're not calculating how we give. We're giving freely, understanding that anything that, is offered up will be part of the divine plan anyway, so that you can sort of sit and wait here. I feel like you're waiting on an outcome. When I see this Hanged Man here and the Judgment card, I feel like you're waiting to see how something will work out, but you keep sort of imagining the worst consequence here. There's something here. It's very interesting. And I feel at the sort of your hope and fear is that, will you be able to create a sustainable environment of sort of warmth and loyalty and creativity? And will you be a constant sort of fire burning here to create your own security? Will you be able to create your own security and take care of sort of the aspects of yourself that are more spiritual in nature and intuitive in nature? And this is a fire sign. This is the Queen of Rods. So this is the idea that anything that comes to us from spirit is bright enough to remove obstacles that are mental or physical in nature. And so it's interesting. I feel like you are on the path of enlightenment this week, Scorpio, and that the end of the day, it's going to be up to you as to how authentic you are with this enlightenment. Will you sort of keep some of this to yourself, or will you choose to share it, or will you only share some of it? Again, right? When it comes back here, how generous are you going to be? How generous will you be? And what will be your intention, right? What will be your intention? And I feel like there's a part of you that's sort of deceiving yourself, because you might be telling yourself one thing, but then acting in a different way. And so there might be some sort of, and again, with that Chariot, there is an alignment here that is necessary, and it's coming up in the near future. This Five of Cups that we saw here is in the recent past, but coming up, there is a challenge for you to be in balance. There's a challenge for you to balance, I think, your inner and outer world. There is a challenge for you to be in alignment with your authenticity. And again, we saw the Empress on the bottom of the deck here. And that says that this, to me, that says that this has something to do with creation. So something to do with being very creative and tapping into your sense of creativity. That really feminine energy here is strong. And so where's the masculine energy? Maybe that's what's out of balance, is that With creation, we need to balance that out with the masculine energy of action and decision and choice. And so perhaps that's where you're fearing outcomes. You're fearing the outcome of taking action. You're fearing the outcome of choosing something. I think because you want to be authentic, but a part of you is sort of maybe thinking it'll be a sacrifice, and you don't want to sacrifice anymore. Perhaps sacrifice was part of this Five of Cups in the past, and you've said to yourself, I'm not going to sacrifice myself ever again. And maybe you need to have a look at that. What is sacrifice? What is the balance between giving and receiving? And the difference between giving and sacrificing? Giving and people pleasing, right? I feel like you want to step into an authentic space, but you're concerned about those factors, right? It's interesting. But there's a lot of creative energy here, and I feel like it's choice. You need to make a choice now. It's time to take action towards that purification, towards security, towards sort of feeling free to be open to the outcomes. Notice that the seven of Swords and the Chariot is the 7 card in tarot. It also represents Cancer, so it's a water sign. I feel like this is very emotional for you. This is an emotional time where Scorpio is sort of feeling that their emotions are unsettled because they're fearing the outcome of something, and they're evaluating the past to see if there was something that could have been done differently with respect to giving, receiving, sacrifice. Yeah. Now, the card selected to close your reading here from the Oracle deck is Awakening. It says, listen to your intuition. The answer is within you. Reconcile your heart and mind. That could be where the balance is required between your heart and your mind. And let spirit lead, which is the theme of the Chariot card. And there's the image for you, right? So awakening. That is exactly what's going on here. This awakening is coming to you in the form of purification. There will be enlightenment. You're sensing it maybe already, and so you're fearing the outcomes, but just listen to your intuition. The answers are within you. And that balance that we keep seeing here is between the heart and the mind, and letting spirit lead. How do you achieve that while feeling secure in your creation? It's a very interesting consideration from your reading, something I think we can all reflect on and sort of make a determination on where is the balance between giving and receiving. When does it cross the line to become self-sacrifice? And these illusion emotional options, these emotional options that are illusions, and it's like, will you choose something out of emotion, or will you let spirit guide? Will you let your intuition sort of provide the enlightenment that you need? This is very interesting. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it at that for you. Happy birthday again. And if this has resonated for you and you would like a personal reading, my email can be found in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for liking, watching, and subscribing. And we'll see you again in the next reading. Sending lots of love and light to you, my friends. Take care.